Welcome back to Uncorking the Issues, where we pour clarity into Temecula Valley politics. I'm your host, Grape Vine. This podcast discusses political and civic issues. The views expressed are solely those of the host and guests and do not represent any political party, campaign, school district, or government entity. Today's episode is titled, Too Many Blues, Not Enough Strategy, the Democratic Pile-Up in the California governor race. We are talking about a crowded room, and not the kind you find at a Temecula wine tasting on a Saturday afternoon. We are talking about the Democratic field in the California governor race, and it is packed. 8 major candidates, all competing for the same job. And here is the problem. When everyone is trying to lead, no one is actually leading. So today, we are going to break this down. What is happening, why it matters here in Temecula Valley, and most importantly, what Democrats here can actually do about it. Let us start with the obvious. This Democratic field is crowded, and not just crowded, it is strategically messy. Normally, more candidates might sound like a good thing, more ideas, more voices, more options, but California does not run a normal election system. We have what is called a top 2 primary. That means it does not matter what party you are in. The top 2 vote getters move on to the general election. So if Democrats split their vote across 8 candidates and Republicans consolidate behind 1 or 2, you could end up with 2 Republicans in the general election. In California, that is not likely, but it is possible. And that is the risk. So how did Democrats get here? The short answer is there is no clear leader. No dominant candidate stepped in and said, "This is my race." No one cleared the field. So instead, everyone jumped in. Each candidate believes they have a path. No one wants to be the first to drop out, and no one wants to miss their chance. At the same time, the Democratic Party is not one unified group. It is a coalition. Progressives, moderates, labor candidates, education-focused candidates, climate candidates. And instead of aligning behind one strategy, they are all running their own race. The result is vote splitting. Now, you might be thinking, what does this have to do with Temecula? A lot, actually, because Temecula Valley is not Los Angeles or San Francisco. We are a competitive region. We have active conservative groups, competitive school board races, and a growing, but not dominant, Democratic base. That means perception matters. When Democrats at the state level look disorganized, it has local consequences. First, messaging confusion. If 8 candidates are saying 8 different things, voters do not know what the party stands for. Second, lower enthusiasm. When there is no clear leader, people disengage, and disengaged voters do not show up. Third, opportunity for opposition. A divided Democratic field creates a simple message for Republicans. Look at the chaos. And in a place like Temecula, that message can land. Now, connect this to what we have already seen locally. School board battles, culture debates, organized turnout from conservative groups. Now, at a Democratic Party that looks fragmented, it becomes harder to recruit candidates, harder to unify messaging, and harder to drive turnout. Because voters do not just vote on issues, they vote on confidence. And right now, this race is not projecting confidence, it is projecting competition. So what can Democrats in Temecula Valley actually do about this? First, pick a lane early. Waiting for the field to sort itself out is not a strategy. Local voters and organizers should pay attention early, evaluate candidates, and start building alignment where it makes sense. Unity does not happen by accident. It happens by decision. Second, focus on local issues. Temecula voters care about schools, safety, cost of living, and development. If everything becomes about statewide personalities, local voters tune out, tie everything back to how this race impacts Temecula families. That is what resonates. Third, build coalitions, not silos. Different groups cannot operate separately. Progressives, moderates, education advocates, they all need to work together. Shared messaging, coordinated outreach, and unified effort. Otherwise, the fragmentation at the top just repeats itself locally. Fourth, control the narrative. If Democrats do not define what this crowded race means, someone else will. And that message will be, too many candidates, no direction. Instead, the message should be, This is a competitive field because people care about California. This is about choosing the best leader, not just the loudest one. Messaging matters, especially in a region like Temecula. Fifth, focus on turnout, no matter what. At the end of the day, turnout decides elections. Register voters, engage younger voters, and show up consistently. If turnout is strong, fragmentation matters less. If turnout is weak, fragmentation becomes a major problem. Now, let us zoom out. This is not just about too many candidates. This is about whether Democrats can organize effectively. It is a test of leadership, discipline, and strategy. And that test is happening at every level, not just in Sacramento, but in Temecula, in school boards, in local elections, and in everyday conversations. So yes, there are too many Democrats in this race. But the real issue is what that represents: a lack of coordination, a lack of clarity, and a risk of splitting support. But there is still an opportunity. Local action still matters. Temecula Democrats cannot control Sacramento, but they can control how they organize, how they communicate, and how they show up. Because politics is not just about who is on the ballot. It is about who is paying attention. This has been Uncorking the Issues, pouring clarity into Temecula Valley politics. I am your host, Grape Vine. And remember, in politics, just like wine, too many choices can overwhelm the table, but the right blend is what wins.